Previously on Designated Survivor.
Capitol's been attacked. Eagle is gone. Congress. The Capitol. Sir, you are now the president.
Some bad people did something bad tonight, and it's Dad's job to make sure we're all safe.
I've been with Secretary Kirkman's staff for 3 years.
It's President Kirkman, and you're not authorized.
Do we know who's responsible for this?
Still too early to determine.
We gotta give him something. The whole world is watching.
We have a housing and urban development secretary running the free world.
Talking about removing the sitting president.
Got something over here!
Easy.
What do you see?
It's clear. Bombs are done.
You don't take credit for something until you're done, right? So what if they're just getting started? There was no chatter.
I understand there was no chatter, but we still need to check all of the usual suspects. Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, Al-Saqar. Where are we with local law enforcement?
I've coordinated with DC Police, Secret Service, Metro, and Capitol.
That's good. Now remember, the high-value target list only starts with the White House. We need to heighten security at every location.
Already taken care of. You taking that bomb to Andrews?
Yeah, top brass wants everything cataloged under one roof.
Director! We need you over here!
All right.
My fellow Americans, tonight our way of life came under attack. This act of cowardice was meant to cripple our nation. But as before, America will show the world that we will not bow down to fear, that we will fight back, that we will persevere.
This was President Tom Kirkman's first address to the nation. It came just 2 hours after he was unceremoniously sworn in as our new president. Unfortunately, last night's speech did little to calm the frayed nerves.
Words aside, Kirkman is an unelected, untested HUD secretary at a time when the world is looking for leadership. Remains at the Capitol, searching for both survivors and answers to the questions all Americans are asking. How did this happen? And will life ever be the same?
Morning, Mr. President.
Good morning. West wing, right or left?
This way to the right, sir.
Thank you very much.
Phoenix on the move.
My wife doesn't want me to come in today. She's afraid the White House is next.
I was supposed to go last night, but I couldn't get a sitter. I don't even know who to report to anymore. Melissa's dead. Everyone's dead.
Mr. President.
Morning. We have a briefing waiting for you in the Oval, sir.
Good.
Mr. President.
Wyatt, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I just have to warn you, this might be a bit more hectic than you're used to.
I understand. I think we'll be fine.
We've added increased security to our oil and gas pipelines, power grids, refineries, chemical storage tanks.
Mass transit is still on lockdown. Planes and trains. Immigration remains frozen.
Sir, you have to authorize we close the banks immediately.
No, we can't do that. We cannot keep the American people from their money.
48 hours without Bank of America is better than a 48-month
If
depression.
everyone withdraws their money at the same time, the banks will collapse.
Where are we at with the bombing?
Deputy Director Atwood will be briefing us soon, but we're looking at groups with the skills and resources to do something like this. Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda, North Korea, RGB.
What's this about violence in Michigan?
We're getting reports of flare-ups in Dearborn, police targeting the local Muslim community.
Yeah, but what I want to know is how the terrorists bring explosives into the Capitol building in the first place.
We're working on that. In the meantime, we have to go after everyone we suspect. We go after them, after their families, any way we can.
I'm sorry, are you talking about enhanced interrogation?
They destroyed our Capitol. I'm saying we do whatever we have to do.
Okay, there's a process.
Everybody, why don't we just focus on one thing at a time? Please, excuse me.
I just needed to find somewhere quiet.
Yeah, admittedly, it got a little loud in there.
Loud? The Caps game is loud, Aaron. Back there in the Oval Office, that was chaos. We need order, a system, or this is never going to work. We need to get this government up and running. We need a cabinet, and fast.
It's a good idea, sir, but first order of business is going to be naming your chief of staff.
Seriously? You're making a play right now?
Enough! I'm not ready to make that decision. What I need is both of you to step up and help me put together a cabinet. Tell me you can do that.
Of course.
Yes, Mr. President.
Good. For now, we're going to close the banks. ATMs and credit will still be available. I want you to monitor the situation in Michigan, and I want you to keep me up to speed on the investigation into the bombing. The American people want to know who did this, and so do I.
Sir.
Also, later today, I want to see the Capitol building or what's left of it.
Are you sure that's a good idea sir?
That's exactly what you need, sir. The do-over. Last night's speech didn't exactly put minds at ease. But you, sir, at the site, now that sends a message. It shows
respect there. It shows respect. It's not a photo op.
Whatever you say, sir.
Good. Let's get back to work.
Morning. What's going on?
It's in the backpack.
What?
Your backpack, what's in it?
My stuff for, work.
Where do you work?
Stuff. I work at the White House.
Really? The White House?
Yeah, you know, where the president sleeps.
You know, wise ass?
I'd like to know why you stopped me.
Why don't you tell us where you live and show us some ID first?
I live right there. It's cold and it's cramped, but I can walk to my gym, so I got that going for me.
Seth Wright. That your real name?
According to my mother.
Heath. This looks good. Thanks for your cooperation, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
Yeah. Stay safe.
Look, I gotta go. Tell Mom I love her. Okay, cabinet members. What about Blanchard?
For state?
He qualified 3 years as deputy.
He also has 2 secret Facebook accounts and an affinity for the co-eds who look after his kids. I'm thinking Garfield's that guy.
No, think again. He's made more than a few enemies on the Hill.
Emily, I hate to break it to you, but there is no Hill anymore.
My God, there's no Hill anymore.
Something happened in Michigan.
What?
Mr. President.
You don't need to get up every time I walk into a room. I'm not the Queen.
No, sir. Virtually no resemblance.
Sorry to interrupt. I actually came in to apologize.
Apologize?
Last night, you wrote me a home run of a speech. This morning, it seems like the press wished anybody else had delivered it but me.
Mr. President, maybe the country's just not ready yet to come together behind anyone, even with the best speech in the world.
Maybe.
Mr. President, there's something you need to see.
Police imposing a curfew on predominantly Muslim neighborhoods and ordering residents to obey it or face arrest. These are citizens who have not been charged with any crimes, who are simply targeted because of their religious beliefs. The American Civil Liberties Union denounced the actions by Dearborn police as a violation of the citizens' basic civil rights. But in the wake of the attack on the Capitol, some are saying this is just the type of policing this country needs.
Governor Royce, how are you?
About as expected. There's lots of manage here, as you can imagine.
I know, and I want to help. I've seen reports that the police in Dearborn are rounding up members of the Muslim community.
Yes, I'm aware.
Well, like I said, we'd like to help you stop the police.
Why would I stop the police? They're acting on my orders.
Your orders?
That's correct. I don't know if you know this, but I have the largest Muslim population in the country here.
That doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong or that they've been radicalized.
No, but I'm willing to bet they know someone who is.
Governor, you can't target an innocent population because you're scared. You have a responsibility
To all my citizens.
And my first and only priority is to make sure they're safe. Something that Washington, if there even is such a place anymore,
Has proven incapable of doing.
Governor, the federal government is
Was
more than...
effectively snuffed out last night.
There is no Congress, there is no Supreme Court. When it comes to the people of Michigan, I am the highest authority, and you have none over me.
With all due respect, sir, I am the president.
Not mine. So you'll have to excuse me, Mr. Kirkman. While you're busy learning how to become president, I've got 10 million citizens to protect.
Governor? Governor Royce, hello?
Sir, you should know that messages of support continue to pour in from heads of state around the world.
We should go over which calls you want to return personally.
I would think all of them. How many calls are we talking about?
About 175, sir.
Maybe we should prioritize.
Mr. President, I want you to know that I don't care what the so-called pundits are saying. I was very moved by your words last night.
Well, thank you. Excuse me, but who are you?
Mr. President, this is Congresswoman Kimball Hookstratton.
Congresswoman.
Yes, I was last night's other designated survivor.
Other designate. Excuse us, please.
Thank you, sir.
There are 2 designated survivors?
Yeah, the Republicans chose someone to sit out of the State of the Union as well.
So they'd be represented. Smart.
Hey, what do you know about Hookstratton? You were on Senator Carlisle's staff when they were both on Ways and Means, weren't you?
Stalker. She's smart. Very smart. Third generation DC blue blood, 9 years Republican whip, knows every detail about every player in town.
So you're saying she's a lot more experienced than the president? Come on, let's go get Governor Royce on the phone.
435 representatives, 100 senators, and 9 justices. And now it's just down to the 2 of us.
I know you don't know whether to feel ashamed or grateful to be alive.
Apologetic.
Sir?
To the American people for being stuck with me as their leader. I mean, let's face it, the pundits might be right.
Mr. President, do you know what I did this morning, sir? I cried and then I prayed. Do you know when the last time I did those 2 things together was?
9/11.
Nobody thought we could get through it back then, but we did. And nobody thinks we can get through it now, but we will. This is your house now. So make it your own. Whatever you need, just ask. Republican, Democrat, Independent, it doesn't matter anymore. We're all Americans today.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Kimball, please.
Okay. Kimball, later this afternoon, I'm going to the Capitol site to thank the first responders. I think it would be a nice show of unity if we were to do that together. What do you say?
I'd be honored, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Ronnie, is that the unexploded munition?
Yep.
What's it telling us?
Russian anti-tank mine, likely built from the ground in Afghanistan. But look here. The guts are cannibalized. Cyrillic on the outside, but the lock ring is Pakistani. And the firing pin is newer, probably Iranian.
Well, that is consistent with what we've seen from some jihadist terror groups.
No, we should be able to point the finger directly when we get the lab results from the other bombs.
Right, but this one, why didn't this one go off?
Any number of reasons. Russian red wire to Iranian green doesn't work. The main charge degraded, but I wouldn't rule out good old-fashioned human error.
You're telling me that the people who blew up our U.S. Capitol in one shot didn't test the triggers, the wiring?
Then what are you suggesting? Hannah?
What if this bomb wasn't meant to explode? What if it was meant to be found?
Look, I don't care what the governor's doing. The president of the United States needs to talk to him. No, I'm not asking, I'm telling. I'm not gonna hold. Damn it.
You think there'd be more people qualified for Attorney General?
The hell am I supposed to say?
Is this a writer thing?
I'm trying to find a way to unite us at Kirkman's remarks at the rubble, but Michigan is probably just the beginning. The world is falling apart.
Probably don't want to put that in the speech.
Yes, I'm still here. God, it's unbelievable.
I like Winbrandt. He went to City College at night, law school, good family man.
Massey's our guy. He clerked for Thomas. He went to Yale, editor of the Law Journal.
It's all about what's on paper for you. I heard Winbrandt speak. The man has good values.
Emily, the governor of Michigan is basically declaring his state a sovereign nation. So we don't have time for values.
I probably shouldn't put that in the speech either, right?
Governor Royce said that? That he's the highest authority?
That's what he said, and in no uncertain terms. Then he hung the phone up on me.
Well, he doesn't get to do that. He has a constitutional obligation.
Don't you get it, Alex? Royce wants to tear up the Constitution. He's not the only one.
You can't let him.
Trust me, I'm not going to. We've got some lawyers coming over from the Attorney General's office. We'll figure out what our legal options are, and we'll handle it. How are you holding up?
Spoke to Duncan. The courts are closed.
Markets, banks, schools, airports, everything.
Half the junior associates in the firm, they're thinking of leaving Washington.
How's Penny? You think she even understands what's happening?
Besides the fact that we now live in the White House, her father is the president, and she's sleeping in a very big bed. No, not really. I've been trying to keep her away from the TV.
Leo.
He's been in his room all day with the door shut.
So basically being Leo.
Basically. Do you think we could, for 5 minutes, just pretend that this isn't really happening?
Kind of hard to do in the Oval Office.
Sorry, sir. I told him you were busy.
It's all right. How can I help you, General?
I'm afraid that's something we have to discuss in private, Mr. President.
This is my wife.
Your wife does not have code word clearance, sir.
Of course. I'll go.
Ma'am.
What is it?
I just spoke to FBI Deputy Director Atwood. The lab results came in. They've made a positive ID on the explosives. We know who blew up the Capitol.
Al-Sakar likes mass casualty attacks. A chlorine storage tank in Manila. Sarin gas canisters lobbed onto our military base in Nairobi.
Preliminary analysis from the FBI's Explosive Device Center tells us that residue found on the Capitol debris is consistent with bombs used by Al-Sakar in the past. Mr. President, it's time to publicly name Al-Sakar as the perpetrator of this crime and take appropriate action.
Okay, before we do anything, the FBI is absolutely certain that Al-Sakar was behind the attack.
75%, sir.
75%?
That's as high as it gets when it comes to a call like this.
75 is still a C on a test, General.
This is not a test, this is war.
All the more reason to get it right, don't you think?
Sir, I know we got off on the wrong foot. You did a fine job staving off the Iranians last night. But I am advising you that the country is on the brink and talk will not work here. America is demanding action and I am giving you an enemy we can kill.
You think I don't want to strike back against the people who did this? I lost colleagues, friends, people I love. I want to find every single person involved in this attack, from planning to execution, and rip them limb from limb, which is why I need to know exactly who did this. Come back to me with more than 75%, and I'll launch the damn missiles myself.
How much more?
25, damn it!
The death toll as of 30 minutes ago is 900 plus. That includes the president, vice president, cabinet.
Those we've been able to ID from Congress and the Supreme Court. And FBI Director Jacobs is also confirmed dead. The The working theory is this is the work of Al-Saqar. So as we know, this is the latest offshoot of Al-Qaeda. They are dispersed throughout North Africa, which makes them very, very hard to track. So we need to be crafty. We need to reach out to your sources, spread some cash around, do whatever you have to do to firm up that link.
What about credit?
What about it?
Is Al-Saqar taking credit?
No, they haven't. But it was months before bin Laden took responsibility for the towers, so that's all for now. Agent Wells.
How you doing?
Same as everyone else, I guess. I just came from Andrews. The bomb we just found, the UXO. It may not be telling you what you think it is.
Okay, I'll bite.
All right, well, what if they wanted us to find it so that we would look at Al-Saqar and not consider any other options?
Can you back up your theory?
Well, my theories were good enough for you in '09 in Iraq.
This is different, Hannah, and you know it. Besides, I've already talked to General Cochran and the Joint Chiefs.
But you're still going to brief the president later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Best to give them all the theories, don't you think?
So if it wasn't Al-Saqar, who blew up the Capitol building?
I don't know yet, and that's what scares me.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, what do I do? Am I supposed to smile? Because I'll probably feel like crying.
Just be yourself.
I know. I don't want to let you down. I don't want to let the country down, and I hate this. That they picked it out for me. But look, I look like the White House sofa.
It's to fit over this, ma'am.
Mike, is this all really necessary?
2 ways the president and his family can leave the White House. Out the front door in a Kevlar vest and a 13-car armored motorcade, or out the back in a Chevy and a ball cap.
Give me the car.
Daddy.
Hey, little Pete, how are you?
What are you wearing?
Oh, this is just to protect me in case I fall down. Cool thing is you can punch it and I won't feel a thing. Go on, try. Go. Come here. I love you so much.
It's time, sir.
Okay.
Hold on. Where's Leo?
Relax, Mom. I'm here.
Okay, you need to watch your sister. And keep her away from the TV, okay? Any of the news, it's too real. She doesn't need to see it. Have you got that?
Yeah, I understand.
Sir, you won't be wearing a tie?
It's not a formal occasion, Aaron.
Okay, let's go.
Phoenix is ready and on the move.
Mike, just out of curiosity, what was it before?
Sir?
My code name when I was Secretary of HUD. What was that?
Glasses. Sir.
We left word for the governor 3 hours ago. Yep, please tell him again.
I forget politics. It's just plain rude. And what the hell's wrong with people anyway?
People are scared, Aaron. The Capitol used to be a symbol of strength, and now it's a pile of ashes. Everyone we know is gone.
You would think today, of all days, people could at least pretend to be decent human beings.
Why are you so surprised? Tragedy either makes people appreciate their fellow man or fear them. The governor's no different. He's just elected.
Thanks for coming with me.
Of course. What?
Yesterday I was asked to resign. We were talking about moving to Montreal. Now I'm trying to put the entire U.S. government back together. Stop the country from tearing itself apart.
Hell of a day.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
How could anybody be ready for this?
Mr. President.
Mr. President, Jason Atwood, Deputy Director. Got a briefing ready for you inside, sir. Okay. Prelim analysis from TDAC indicates that the explosive residue found on the debris is called cyclonite, also known as RDX. We believe it was mixed with a plasticizer.
And that's what maximizes the destruction? Allow the chamber to come down on itself?
Exactly.
And Al-Zakar has access to RDX?
Yes, sir. It's their signature.
What about the device you found, the bomb? Why didn't it go off?
We believe it was human error. Still running some tests.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Keep you updated.
Take my coat.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to keep that vest on.
Mike, we're here to project confidence. Does this vest project confidence to you? Thank you.
I win.
You cheated. I know your game,
I
little
did not.
Oh, I gotta take this.
You're supposed to watch me.
It's the White House, Penny. I'm sure you're safe.
A truly somber moment for the sworn-in President Kirkman as he makes his first visit to the site of the terrorist attack. We'll stand by here for his...
A lot of cameras here.
You are the president, sir.
Excuse me, could I borrow that? Thank you. Just press here. Hello, my name is Tom Kirkman. Last night at approximately 10:30 p.m., I was sworn in as President of the United States. I've come down here because I wanted to thank each and every one of you for the work that you're doing here and let you know that America mourns. This was an act of madness. This was an act of terror. Yesterday we saw the worst in humanity. Today I see its best. I know you're all tired, scared. I know you want answers, someone to blame, someone to fight against. I need you to know that I want that too. And even though today it might look It's Michigan.
fallen, I promise you, we will rise again, better and stronger. For those who we've lost, our leaders, family members, loved ones, I swear to you, they will not have died in vain.
See what's going on in Michigan?
This place where we stand right here, right now, will forever be hallowed ground.
And we must always respect the incredible sacrifice that was made here.
Mr. President, do you have anything to say about the Muslim teenager in Dearborn who was beaten by police?
The president's not answering any questions right now. Thank you.
You have no response, President Kirkman?
I didn't hear the question.
The Muslim teenager who was beaten by police, Mr. President, do you have a comment?
What? Are you concerned that their civil rights are being violated?
Is the White House concerned about escalating violence against Muslims?
Americans get beaten, Mr. Kirkman?
Show me your hand! Show me your hand!
Wrong? Sir, I need you to stop.
Good, good!
We've been trying. He won't take the call.
What do you mean he won't take the call?
Do you know anything about the condition of the boy, the one in Michigan?
He's in surgery with internal bleeding.
Well, he knows we're calling, sir. He doesn't care.
I want to talk to a couple lawyers from the Attorney General's office.
What's his name?
Danny Fayette, ma'am.
How old is he?
We have a couple AG candidates could be helpful.
Bring them in.
Sorry to bother you, man. Your daughter needs you upstairs.
Okay. Tom, the boy. He's 17. Same age as Leo. And he leads me to America.
to explain myself to you, Hannah. I gave the president what I determined was the most relevant intel.
Or you gave him what the group who did this wanted you to give him. How can he lead if he doesn't have all the facts?
Then you should have given them to me. Look, it's not that I don't believe you or that I don't want to. Someone blew up the Capitol. Who knows what's possible anymore? On top of that, we've got a guy in office who's number 11 in the line of succession. I can't go to him with speculation right now, so if you want me to go back to him with your theory, please, prove it.
The situation in Michigan's out of control. Now we've got a teenager in critical condition. I need to know what my legal options are right now.
Well, Mr. President, you can invoke the Supremacy Clause. Issue an executive order saying Governor Royce must force his police to stand down.
That's a bad call. EOs can be perceived as very hostile.
Then what would you suggest?
A presidential proclamation.
Which is nothing more than a symbolic, empty gesture. It looks weak, sir.
Bush used a proclamation to secure disaster areas after Katrina. That hardly seems like an empty gesture to me.
I wouldn't take declaring martial law off the table either,
If
sir.
you want this to be the shortest presidency in history.
Let me get this straight. An executive order will be perceived as too hostile. Presidential proclamation, too weak. Martial law, either very, very smart or incredibly self-destructive. Guys, let me ask you a question. Can you agree on anything?
Not
Yes.
really.
Great.
How is she?
Well, how do you think she is? She just watched her father almost get trampled. You had one job, to keep her away from the TV.
I did.
Until you didn't. You left her alone.
I got a phone call. It's not my job to be her parent.
Well, guess what? We're all doing jobs that we weren't doing yesterday. Leo, nothing's the same anymore. Look, I know it's asking a lot. You're just gonna have to grow up faster. I'm gonna need to count on you in more ways than ever. Can I do that? Can I do that?
Guess we'll find out.
Take these to Treasury. Tell them Social Security checks will keep going out if I have to sign it myself.
Aaron, I thought we were in agreement.
Really, General? About what?
He's in over his head, out of his depth. You need to convince your new boss that Al-Sakar is behind the bombing.
I think he was pretty clear there. Though he's certain he will not name anyone. As I recall, it's your job to convince him.
Aaron, your chief of staff.
Actually, I'm not.
So who is?
He hasn't named anyone yet.
And yet another trigger he won't pull.
Light reading.
Well, sadly, it seems that Wikipedia is a little thin on constitutional law theory.
Oh, did the lawyers not give you any answers about Michigan?
They gave me plenty of answers. They just weren't the right ones. Doesn't even matter yet. I can't get Governor Royce back on the phone.
Well, maybe it's time to force his hand.
What do you mean?
When George Wallace refused an order to integrate schools in Alabama, JFK had his brother federalize the National Guard and forced him to obey the law.
Federalize the National Guard. Well, it's brilliant, but it's also a little...
Nuclear.
Yeah. Hey. I don't need a nuclear solution. I need a political one.
Good thing we have a politician in the family.
We'll see about that.
Mr. President.
Hold on. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Tom?
The boy from Michigan.
Danny Fayette.
He just died.
Mr. President.
Tell me you got him.
Yes, Governor Royce and Congresswoman Hook Stratton are both on the board of the American Enterprise Institute. If anyone can get him back to the table.
That was smart. Good job.
Okay, Mr. President, he's coming back on the line now.
Thank you.
Pleasure, sir.
Governor Royce.
Royce. You're a hard man to reach.
Well, I told you before, I'm pretty busy.
Well, we're going to try and lighten the load for you. For the record, I am ordering you to have your police stand down and stop harassing the Muslim community in Dearborn. I also need you to release everybody that you've picked up today that you have not formally charged with a crime.
Look, I told you before, my police are doing what they have to do to protect my citizens.
With all due respect, Governor, they're not your citizens, they're mine, and it's my job to protect them.
It's a job you have no business doing.
Well, not according to the Constitution. Governor, you should also know that your police unknowingly picked up 3 undercover operatives working on a long lead investigation for Homeland Security. I can't give you their names because it's classified and you don't have clearance. That is why I need you to release everybody that you've picked up today.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
Well then, Governor, you'll be obstructing a federal investigation. I'm sure you're aware of the consequences for that.
Look, I'm just trying to keep my people safe.
How safe is Danny Fayed this evening? Governor, I need your answer now.
I will call the state police, tell them to stand down and release everyone we've picked up.
Thank you.
Mr. President, would you like me to contact Homeland Security? Tell them their agents have been released.
There were no agents.
It was a bluff.
A Band-Aid. Stop the bleeding for now.
Well done, Mr. President. Governor Royce is a good man. He was just wrong today.
Thank you for your help, Kimball.
Sir.
Thank you, everyone. Great work. Seth, can you hold up for a minute? Walk with me. DC Police called the White House switchboard. Wanted to confirm that you worked here. What happened this morning?
What happened in Michigan? What always happens? When people don't know who their enemy is, they start with people who look like me.
They want me to name Al-Sakar as the group behind the bombing. But the FBI can't confirm with absolute certainty that they did it. So I can't do anything. Otherwise, I'd be just as bad as Governor Royce. We gotta get this right.
You will, sir.
How are you getting home?
Sorry?
How are you getting home? I can have the Secret Service drive you.
Oh, no. That won't be necessary. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be fine.
Be careful, Seth.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Wyatt.
Yes, sir?
Could I please have the number for Danny Fayed's parents?
Tired eyes, maybe you've seen too much. Tired heart, every end has a start.
I need you to know that words could never express how sorry I am for your loss. Yes, sir. Good night.
Time will save you. You don't need to save yourself.
Mike, you wouldn't happen to have a baseball cap laying around, would you? Yes, sir.
If you find yourself alone with no one to call home, will you come back? Will you come back? Will you come back?
You lose someone?
Time will save you.
I lost everyone.
You don't need to save yourself. Time will save you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.